Okay, all right. Well, let's welcome Keith Roy here to the summit. And let me change the speaker view here so we can see Keith. Thanks a lot, Keith, for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's great. It's great to be part of this. It's such a unique event for realtors to access this level of material.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And so you're kind of unique from a speaker standpoint because this is the second time we get to see your happy, smiley face here at the summit because Richard Robbins kind of profiled you in his presentation.
Yeah, I'm the golden child for Rich. I'll tell you what happened there. I did whatever Rich told me to do. I got into a coaching program a couple of years ago and it wasn't really working for me. I wasn't seeing the growth I wanted. And then someone in my office was doing really well in coaching. And I said, how are you doing well in coaching? And they said, well, I just figured I'm paying the money. I'm just going to do everything they tell me just for a year, just flat out everything. And so I adopted that approach with Rich and his organization, and I did everything they told me to do. And I mean, you've been around trainers before. If you do the stuff that we're telling you to do today, it actually works. So I did it for a whole year, and my business grew exponentially, and Rich and his organization have been a big part of that. But just do what you learn today. Write down notes and then do the things we tell you to do because they work.
Well, that's good advice. That's good advice. And plus somebody like Richard, he has a lot of credibility, and you and I both know him and have a high level of trust, and he's somebody that is really out there to help you.
Yeah. No, it's his organization has just been fantastic for me.
And so you're also a part of our Canadian contingent. Hear a little bit of that Canadian accent. So you're up, where are you? You're up in Vancouver?
I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, host of the 2010 Olympics, home of the Vancouver Canucks, and a place where it rains all winter, but our summers are amazing. We've got beautiful mountains, we're right on the ocean. It's a really high quality of life.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area. I've stopped by there a few times. So, well, let's kind of jump into this. Like I talked about before, it's like we're having a cup of coffee. You're going to give me 3 tips on how to help my business as a realtor. So we'll do the 3 tips. I might have a few questions here and there. At the end, I do have a bonus question. Very easy. So we'll go through that. So I'll let you roll with your first tip.
Well, my first tip is for new agents. And I want to tell them to act as if. And what does that mean? This is my version of fake it till you make it. When I got into real estate, I was 24 years old. I had just moved back to Vancouver from university back east. I didn't know a lot of people, and I was managing a restaurant. So it's not like I had this claim to be some sort of highly successful or professional individual. I literally managed like a middle of the road, like an Applebee's, just like a regular restaurant. And I decided that I would adopt the approach of fake it till you make it. So I went in full force and acted like a realtor. And I just became the real estate resource. I became the real estate professional. I was always in a suit. Within, I would say, 3 months, no one ever asked me how long I'd been in real estate. Now, if you're a new agent, here's a tip I have for you. You're in your office. You're learning how to use the back end of your brokerage's extranet. You're running around doing open houses for other people. You're learning how the contracts work. There's so much going on, but a lot of what you're doing just isn't useful. And the experienced agents know this, and I see you nodding your head. What's useful is talking to people, and it's prospecting, and we hear that. But what do I do? Oh, we'll go out and talk to more people. That's just not enough. So here's my new agent boot camp tip. If you are a new agent, what I want you to do is make a list of everybody you know, not just some of the people, and don't rule anybody out. Let people rule themselves out. So make a list of everybody you know, your dry cleaner, your kids' friends' parents, your family, your friends, people you're on a sports team with. Everybody you know, write them all down. And don't get caught up in what database do I use, and do I sign up for this system or that system. Use an Excel spreadsheet, very simple. Name, address, phone number, email address. Collect all this information. If you've got them on Facebook, get their address. If you've got their address, figure out where they are on Facebook. Load it all up into one system. And then what I want you to do is create a letter announcing that you have become a realtor. why you've become a realtor, and why your company is the best company to choose, because you chose it for a reason. And when you're new, the brand is the only thing you've got. You've just got to lean into whatever brand you're working with. I'm with Remax now. I was with a different brand when I started. It had different benefits for me. But whatever the brand you're using, lean into that brand. Create this letter announcing that you have started a real estate career and announcing that you're with this brand and why you're with it. Then what I want you to do is mail merge the letter. So you're going to have, most people have, I find, if they really think about it, somewhere between 100 and 200 people. And some people claim to have 500, but I think you're probably reaching a little far for that. Let's say you've got between 100 and 200 people. You're going to mail merge the letter. You're going to stuff them all in envelopes. You're going to put it on company letterhead. You're going to put it in a company envelope. You're going to put a business card in there. You're going to send it off. But you're going to get, so at the end of this, you're going to have a stack of 100 to 200 letters. You're going to take those letters and you're going to mail them 5 per day. And this is the key point, because this is going to give you something to do every day. It's going to give you purpose and structure that's useful as a realtor to get your day going. So you're going to mail 5 per day. So on Monday, you're going to mail 5. On Tuesday, you're going to mail 5. Now, in Vancouver, we have basically overnight mail delivery, as they do in most urban centers. But let's say it's going to take 2 or 3 days to get there. So on Wednesday, you're going to start phoning the people from Monday. So on Wednesday, you're going to make 5 phone calls. You're going to mail 5 letters. On Thursday, you're going to phone 5 people from Tuesday, and you're going to phone the one from Monday that you didn't get a hold of. On Friday, you're going to phone the 5 from Wednesday, and on and on. And then by the time you get to Friday on any given week, don't put anything in the mail. Use the day to catch up on everybody that you didn't get a hold of. Now, I know you're nervous because I'm telling you to phone people who know, like, and trust you. That's all this is. These are people who want to hear from you. And they're people who want to support you. They know that you're starting a new career. They want to be supportive of it. Are they going to sell their house with you? Probably not, right? They're going to take their time making sure that you actually stick and you're good and you're ready. But they know other people, and they would probably be willing to refer you so that you can have the opportunity for an introduction. Now, your goal, if you're making 20 to 25 phone calls a week, is to set up 1 meeting per day. Now, these are all the people that you're friends with who you haven't seen in a while because you had a regular job and they had a regular job. Well, now you don't have a regular job, so you can get away. And I don't want you to go for lunch with people because lunch is really expensive, especially because you're going to be expected to pay because you're initiating the lunch. So you're going to set up coffee meetings, go for a walk. In the summer, I like to phone people and go for a Slurpee. Hey, you want to go get a Slurpee? People are like, I haven't done that in a long time. Let's go. And you get a Slurpee, you sit on a park bench, spend 15, 20 minutes. It's the coffee break that every employee can take during the day that you used to not be able to get to them during that time. So now you've got this purpose and this sense of momentum going because you've got 5 letters a day, 5 phone calls a day, 1 meeting a day. That's a much better use of your time than sitting in your office, setting up your website. You're spending countless hours working on a virtual business card. Real estate's a face-to-face game, right? It's a contact sport. You're going to hear that a lot as you grow in real estate. So my new agent boot camp, like I said, is fake it till you make it and just become a full-time ready realtor and then do this program 5 letters per day, 4 days a week, 25 phone calls a week. And you'll find within a month, something will come out of that just by virtue of being busy. That's number 1.
Yeah, and I think that's an outstanding tip because I think what happens with a lot of new agents when they start out, they don't know what to do. And they kind of get, that call reluctance, they kind of get brain locked. And this is just a very simple step-by-step procedure that they could follow. I mean, anybody can mail a letter and anybody can follow up on a letter. So I think that's awesome advice.
And don't fool yourself into thinking you can mail 100 and phone 100. You won't do it. You'll phone 10, you'll get busy, you'll forget about it, and you have to make the phone call in conjunction with the letter. I used to run political campaigns. That's what my education is in. And a phone call makes a letter 7 times more effective. Okay, great. Yeah, so you want to tie those together. The next tip is for experienced agents. Now, despite my youthful good looks, I have been why does everybody laugh when I say that? I've been a realtor almost 10 years. And fairly recently, just last year, I sold my own home. I had someone else sell it for me because I had the opportunity. I'm actually building my dream home here in Vancouver. And when I sold my home, I hired another realtor, and I did most of the prep work. Like, I had the photos done and the floor plan, and I set up the video and all that. And Vancouver's a hot market if you've ever followed it. So it wasn't like my house wasn't going to sell. I was always going to get multiple offers. It was always going to be an easy sale. But we put my house on the market. I've got it staged. It's all ready to go. We put it on a Tuesday. I phoned my realtor on Wednesday. Any phone calls yet? She's like, we're not doing the open house till the weekend. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Thursday, well, what have you done? Have you taken phone calls? Are people coming? Where are we at with this? Well, you've got a showing? Okay, I'm all ready, and I get my house all prepped up and ready to go. Friday, I'm super nervous. Saturday, I'm like Q-tipping the baseboards to make sure my house is perfect and ready to go. And we do the open house on Saturday. Well, who's going to offer? Where? And we're not going to look at offers until Monday, and I know this. My house was only I ended up with 13 offers, and I sold my house for, I think, $180,000 over asking. I live in a berserk market. But for 7 days, I was so stressed out. And we as realtors have forgotten how terrible it is to sell our homes and move. People aren't moving because things are normal. Someone has died, someone's gotten married, there's a new baby, there's a new job. People are moving because times are so stressful. And perhaps I knew too much, but when I didn't hear from my realtor every day, and she's good, right? Like, I'm going to hire a good realtor. I was frantic. And so we talk, you got to phone your sellers on Tuesdays and let them know what's going on. No, you actually have to phone your sellers every single day. And I know that sounds crazy, especially if you're carrying 30 or 40 listings, but you need to have something set up every day that you can communicate with these people. And certainly if it's a multi-month process, you can tone that down a bit over time. But in the first 2 weeks, I'm going to tell you, they're wondering, what are you doing? Where are you at with the marketing plan today? What are we doing to change it? Why didn't we get more people to the open house? It's all, and we think about our clients as experienced agents. We think about them all the time, right? We're like, I wonder what I should do about that listing or how I move that forward. But our clients don't know that we're thinking about them. And that's what we forget. Because we're thinking about them so much, we're forgetting to remind them that we care about them, that we're thinking about them, that we're working on a solution. So we have a rule in my team. Every time we do something for a client, we let them know. If we book a showing, we let them know. If someone phones and might want to book a showing, but they're going to get back to their client, we let them know. Every time we do a showing, we have a text message that we send. Hey, we just showed it. These are their comments. We'll follow up as we always do. When we follow up, we then follow up with our clients. And it's so simple with modern communication, text messages, emails, quick phone call, whatever it is. But every time you do something for your client, you should communicate that to them. Hey, we just ordered a title search. Everything looks clear. We just talked to the lawyer about the charge on your title, whatever it is. Everything you do for them, let them know, because you do a lot for them and they don't realize how much it is. And just that little bit of communication will lower their stress level, and it will make you a much more referable agent going forward. You're buying and selling houses every day as agents, and you've forgotten how terrible it is to move. So I want you to remember, as an experienced agent, how bad it is.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, because you can never over communicate. And I think, like you said, sellers, you felt it, and I think it's great. When you feel something, what the seller is going through, that's very powerful, because then you can make sure that you're not going to fall into that trap and, not call the seller or whatever. But communication is key. And I like what you say about, communicating everything that's going on. I know I try to do that, and, send a text, send an email, because that way they know that you're working for them. So when you get to the closing table or escrow, however you guys do it there, and you're picking up your commission, then they're like, hey, Keith earned it.
Yeah, we make a lot of money in this business, and we need to sometimes remind people why we make the money we do.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Third tip, this is for everybody. This is the importance of being genuinely generous. And real estate is, I built my business off of my database. And that's probably why Rich profiled me in his talk. I'm awesome at this. I love connecting with my clients. I love being part of their lives. I love getting invited. I get invited to weddings. I've emceed weddings for clients who I only met as clients. And so I'm really involved in my client's life. But I think that's a result of being genuinely generous. At the same time, I'm strategically generous. And I want you to think of all the things you can do to make your database's lives, to enrich the lives of people in your database. So one of the things I always recommend, and every realtor should be doing this, some sort of client event. It's very important. People are looking for stuff to do. And as realtors, we're busy on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Between 2 and 4 on a Saturday and a Sunday, we got too much going on. We're setting up our open house at 1 o'clock. We're closing down at 5 o'clock. We're not going to the corn maze and the movie mornings and all this stuff, right? We can barely keep our own lives together. But that regular family who's at home on the weekend with their kids, they're looking for something to do. And if you can provide them the client event, that is a great place to have an experience, they will come. If you build it, they will come, is my theory on client events. And at these client events, adopt an attitude of generosity where you're just giving. So every time I do a client event, I treat it like a kid's birthday party. Everybody who comes to my event leaves with a grab bag of something. We've given out, I've had canned goods made and branded. I've given out like branded lighters at a barbecue I did. But people like getting stuff, and people like getting invited to great things. So being genuinely generous is really important. The other things you can do is remember birthdays, remember anniversaries, remember holidays. Sending bomb videos on birthdays is great, but send a card as well, and throw a lottery ticket in there, because there's and I'll put a lottery ticket and I'll say, I look forward to helping you spend the next down payment. And it's cheeky, but it ties it in. I give out tickets to the home show when the home show comes around every year. We visit people in December, and we drop off poinsettias at their houses and their offices. Just being genuinely generous. And I don't think you should be token about it, and I don't think you should be hokey about it. I think it's got to be honest and meaningful, and tacking a business card on anything. But if you're just going to see someone, there's no reason that you can't show up with a small gift. I mean, people like getting stuff, and so being genuinely generous in everything you do, and just giving and giving and giving, and giving starts the receiving process. And by giving to my clients and giving to my database over the years, in a strategic way, it's resulted in that referral business that I thrive off of, and quite frankly, I live off of.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I like what you talk about in the sense that, make them feel a part of the event. But I never thought about how people are looking for something to do, because I think that is true, because, especially people that have kids and they're busy day to day, and it's like they want to go do something different. And if we can provide them that opportunity, a barbecue, a bowling party, a pool party, or whatever it is, it's something that can enrich their life.
Yeah, one of my resources I'm going to leave for your attendees on my page, I'll have a document on client events, and some tips and tricks on how to do client events, and what kind of items you might want to give away, and where to host the events, and how to be strategic with the events so that they produce referral business, and they don't just put people in a room like a movie where they're just in a room staring at a screen. My favorite thing to hear at a client event is, how do you know Keith? That's the kind of thing that you're trying to create, and you want to become the hub and spoke approach where you're the center of your database and they interact with each other based on their connection with you.
Well, that's great. Well, that's an awesome 3 tips, Keith. I'm really impressed, and I like it's not something that is just like so out there. You know, you got to call 30 people a day and go knock on doors. I mean, this is very practical advice that we can all do.
Yeah, I started real estate. I was 24 years old. I barely knew anybody, and I built it from nothing. And I didn't build it in a particularly crazy way. I'm not going to give you pie in the sky ideas of how to become a successful realtor. There's just really easy, practical tips, and start doing this, you'll be off and running in no time.
Okay, cool. So here's a bonus question. Like I said, pretty easy. So here it is at the summit, or in January 2016. I want you to look back last year, 2015, and share with us an accomplishment, a goal that you achieved, or you kind of raised your fist and said, you know, I did it. And it could be personal or it could be business.
Well, every year I set a breakthrough goal for myself. And you try and pick one thing that puts you just outside of your comfort zone, that if you accomplished it, would have a lasting and positive impact on every other area of your life. And I'm going to tell you my last 3 breakthrough goals. 3 years ago, I wanted to spend a month in Hawaii. It would give me an opportunity to do my business in 11 months instead of 12. It would force me to save money. It would force me to relax. And while I was relaxing, I picked something I wanted to learn. I accomplished it. I spent a whole month in Hawaii living in a penthouse on the beach. Fantastic. Next year, I decided I want to buy a vacation home up in Whistler, great ski hill here in Vancouver. Accomplish that. Last year, I wanted to build myself a new house. And as I mentioned to you, I sold my house last year, and I am in the process of building. It's just framed up right now. Got a roof on, and we're going to, so we can build through the winter here in Vancouver. We don't really have winter, so we're still building. And I'm building myself a new house. And all of these things force me to be more disciplined at work. They force me to be more disciplined with my finances. And as realtors, I think we could all use a little more financial discipline. And it's been a great opportunity for me to enrich my life in so many different ways. So pick something that's not work related and set a goal on something that's not work related that still has an impact on your business and your, because we don't have a work life and a personal life. There's no such thing as this balance. I have a life, and sometimes I sell houses, sometimes I build them, and sometimes I go skiing, but it's all just a life. And keeping all of that together, I think, is important with a big breakthrough goal.
Well, that's good. Congratulations. I think going to Hawaii for a month, that's a worthy goal for all of us.
It was fun. I called it my pre-retirement.
Pre-retirement.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, that's awesome. So, well, thanks a lot, Keith, for being here. I really appreciate you being a part of the summit. You bring so much to the attendees, to the audience, and, I love your approach. I love how you're passionate about real estate. And like you said, I mean, it's your life. You've embraced it, and, you're enjoying it and very successful. So congratulations.
Thanks, Mario. Have a great conference, everybody.